afternoon and welcome to the glorious Todd Clint SharePoint podcast number 341, recorded live June 12th, 2017. I am your host, the great, the infallible Shane Young, who is so happy to be here with you today. Why? Because there is no Todd Clint, and days where there is no Todd Clint are great days. I can also tell you that I'm joined here in the studio audience by my dog Chewy, who has gotten up and wanted to know why I'm talking so excited right now. So hopefully he goes back to sleep. But let's just face it, that if Chewy starts talking, well, he's going to talk more sense than Todd does. So that's all that matters. Jumping in real quick, right? I am with good old Bold Zebras there. And you can always hit me up on Twitter at Shane's Cows, or you can hit my YouTube channel, Shane Young Cloud, and watch me talk about things in front of this same backdrop, but educational things. PowerShell, SharePoint, Azure, Office 365, I don't know. Also thinking about starting a video game streaming channel, right? Just because Twitch seems to be so hot, why not get into it? But that's for another day. All right. Production notes. All good in the hood. Number 340 is up and out, and everything is out. You've already seen it, you've watched it, listened to it, you've enjoyed it. So you are going to go and think that's a wonderful thing. Also, good news on the production note topic. Todd will not be here either for 342. So you will get 2 shows with just me. Who doesn't want to talk to just me? All right. And let's see, what else do we have here? Oh, I can also let you know this show is being recorded an hour early. I don't know why that would actually matter to you because you're listening to it in your car right now, but it is being recorded an hour early so that I can go and do all the daddy things that I have to do, right? Because we also remember, speaking of daddy things, Father's Day is coming up. It will be on the 18th, right? So 6 long days from now. Another wonderful Hallmark holiday, which as a dad, I wish they would just get rid of because let's face it, just like my birthday is no longer about me, Christmas is no longer about me, Father's Day is no longer about me either, right? If it was about me, I'd be like, all right, I'm golfing for 12 or 16 straight hours. Never seems to work out, right? I gotta go do this thing or that thing or something like that. So what do you do? Anyway, watch out for Father's Day. So jumping into our topics here, let's see. Let's start with the Xbox One, right? So the Xbox One X was announced last night, and it looks like another monstrosity. Microsoft decided they needed to leapfrog the PlayStation 4 Pro, both in capabilities and in price. But it looks like it's going to have 6 teraflops of computing power. I don't really understand what that means because I'm not a smart person, but it's a lot. It's going to have a 1 terabyte hard drive, 12 gigs of RAM. It's going to do 4K video and Blu-rays, so that's awesome, right? Another device in your console. And one great thing about the Xbox One X, other than they're stealing their naming conventions from Tesla, right? There was a Tesla S and then a Tesla X. Yeah, what do you do? But it's going to run all the same games. It's going to use all the same accessories as your current Xbox One, so you shouldn't have to reinvest. And they've even announced separately that there's going to be an initiative to enable the old Xbox, the original Xbox games, to even run on the Xbox One in a future update. So I don't know why anybody would want to run a 20-year-old game at this point. It's not 20, 10, but they're working on that capability. So look for that to be out November 7th for $499 US, and lots of other prices depending on where you're at in the world. I will take one. So if you're looking for something to buy me for Thanksgiving, right? Because I don't want to wait until Christmas. So good Thanksgiving present for Shane would not be to send me a frozen turkey, but would be to send me an Xbox One S. So that will be very fun and exciting. Let's see, what else do I have for you here? Oh, so last week got to do a little good old-fashioned SharePoint troubleshooting, so I thought I'd talk to you about it. At this point, you guys have been doing on-prem troubleshooting for so long, you probably even gotten a little rusty at it. I know I felt a little scared going into the problem, so I thought I'd just walk you through it, kind of what I did and what I saw, and just remind you of kind of how we go through those type of issues. So it turns out that I got a call and someone who's having problems with the secure store. Right, so they said the secure store wasn't working they were getting an error message, secure store shared service, that's a lot of S's, is not responding. And they just didn't know what was going on, right? They said, we haven't changed anything, we haven't done anything, which we all know is probably not true, but that was the story they were telling me. It just magically quit working. So scheduled an appointment with them to do something. Actually use Find Time to find a time with them. It's still a pretty cool little tool if you haven't checked it out. But we got logged into their system, and by the time I got to them, like, Secure Store's not working. That's the thing we're trying to fix today, but our search box disappeared today. Like, maybe those two are, get along, do something. It's like, yeah, probably something about that that makes sense. So first thing I did actually was open an event viewer, started looking through the error messages, found a few that were interesting, nothing definitive, right? I was really hoping for just something solid, like, the app pool's on fire or something, just very tangible I could quickly fix. And nothing good there, so then I started combing through the SharePoint logs. And in the SharePoint logs, what I found was kind of some different cryptic error messages, nothing directly helpful. But what they were implying was that the password for the app pool account wasn't working. So I asked the guy, hey, have you changed your account passwords lately? He said no. I was like, well, of course not. But, would have been nice if that had been the answer. But since I thought, at that point I was probably 100% internally in my head convinced that it was an app pool problem. I didn't want to tell him that though, right? Because, I'm a consultant, I bill by the hour, I got to run the clock up. No, I didn't want to tell him that yet because I didn't, I wasn't 100% sure. So what I said was, hey, let's go and just create a new secure store and see what happens. So went over to Central Admin, created a new secure store, and I did that in a new service application app pool, but using that same identity. And turned out everything worked just fine, right? So new secure store in the new app pool, and I put it in the default service application group, not that that really mattered, or service application proxy group, I should say. But either way, that didn't matter, but it showed me that, okay, the secure store service on server is working fine because that was firing off well. And this was like a 4 or 5 server farm, so we were trying to kind of make sure we were troubleshooting in the right spots. So I had kind of narrowed it down to get everything running on one server. But so when we got through that portion, it's like, all right, so that works. That's good news. So then I took that secure store service application and I put it in the existing service application pool. Did not work, right? Same error messages, things caught on fire. I'm like, all right, yay. We've kind of pretty much at this point proven it's the app pool. But kind of messing around with that a little bit, I was like, all right, so, we kind of went in baby steps because it was a production environment. It was 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so I didn't want to catch anything on fire. So we kind of kept making just micro tweaks to prove things going along the way. But from kind of working through the process, we essentially proved that it was the existing service app pool was broken. So I was like, all right, there's probably 2 things you can do here. One, you just create a new app pool and then move all your existing service apps in there, kind of get things rewired up, probably work out, be okay. Or if you're brave, and I'm a brave guy, right? I got my Boy Scout badge. What we can do is we can take this account and we can put it, or we can change the app pool account because I think that's what's wrong, right? I think the account for the app pool is broken. It's like, let's change that account and then see what happens. And so he was brave. It's like, the worst case scenario, nothing's going to work. The good news is none of your service applications work right now anyway. So what we did was we went over to the app pool account or the manage service account screen. And for that app pool account, we changed it from the service app account to the farm account, right? Because the farm account's already got permission to all those things, so I didn't have to worry about permissions or any of that. We made the change, we went and checked, boom, his existing secure store worked. His search box showed back up, right? Because search was working in. All the service apps that had been dead were working. Now, we weren't going to leave it in that state, but it proved that it worked. It also didn't hurt anything during production, right? It didn't cause an IIS reset or anything like that. So then I went back in there and managed service accounts screen again, and I changed it from the farm account back to the original service app account, hit OK, boom, everything kept working, right? So what that shows me is that somewhere along the way, the association between the app pool and the app pool account, they got hosed, they got confused because he was right. Password never changed, Nothing had really went on, but for whatever reason, they kind of forgot who was who. And so by removing it and then re-adding the account, it just got them friends again. They're like, I know you, you know me. We're a big happy family, right? With a knick-knack, paddywhack, give a dog a bone. No. All right, I won't sing the Barney song to you. So anyway, just kind of a reminder that, when you're doing this type of troubleshooting, right, that we know how to do it, but it would have been real easy just to jump straight to the app pool and make that change, because that was what my back of my head said it was. But by walking through the process, I was able to show the customer kind of what was going on, what worked, what didn't work, and we were able to kind of feel really good that we were making a solid change that we'd proven would probably be the fix, instead of just being like, hey, it's your production server. Let's just go change these 4 things and be done with it. So that would be my advice to you, is just remember, break it down to the basics, walk through the baby steps, and solving all your SharePoint woes are easy. Now, the other idea, though, is that, of course, if you just move to SharePoint Online, app pools are Microsoft's problem, not yours, but what fun would that be? So, and apparently old Mark Christman has joined the chat room, and he is upset that I made a Barney reference, but since he was late, I decided that he didn't get a say, so I was going to make Barney references. So there you go. All right, so that was one of the big things I wanted to talk to you guys about, my support problem. Speaking of the chat room, my good dear friend Dave Aykroyd, who might be one of my favorite of the hooligans, don't tell anybody, he dropped me a little link that I will share with all of you, but it is a link to the Ignite sessions. So most of them have been published at this point, and so he just made a filter that only included the SharePoint, Delve, Office 365, OneDrive, and Groups sessions. Sent me a link, which I'm sharing with you, and it looks like there is about 108 sessions there. So if you want to kind of get an idea of what SharePointy content will be at the thing, that didn't work. I tried to paste it in the chat room, and I broke it. Copy link. Let's try this again. Boom. There you go. So there's about 108 sessions. They've got some titles. They've got most of the descriptions. They don't think any of it's flushed out. It looks like it's at least a working set. Unfortunately, there are no speakers listed yet, though, so you can't see what will hopefully be my name gloriously attached to them. And hopefully you'll also see that Todd is probably going to ride my coattails into there as well. So, you have that to look forward to. We have no proof we'll be speakers yet, but fingers crossed, because I like speaking. I don't know if you've ever noticed, but give me a microphone and I will just talk for hours, days, weeks. It doesn't matter. What else do I got down here for you? We talked about the Xbox One already. Last week I launched my PowerShell video on RightHost. I have not been banned from the internet, which was the concern after I released it. And I don't believe any puppies have died. I mean, my puppy is still here sleeping on the floor, so that's good. But it was a fun video. I think it's educational, so I'm going to continue to follow that up with. I was looking at today. I might do the Right Progress. I know that Dave and Jeff were giving me some gruff about that last week. The problem I have, though, is Right Progress doesn't look very interesting to me. So I might actually start with how do I do a script? I don't know. If you got any suggestions on what I should do in PowerShell, hit me up on the Twitter, Slack, email, Carrier Pigeon, something. Tell me what you want to see me write PowerShell content about. Yeah, speaking of my YouTube channel, Dave wanted to know if I had any more money to make it rain. So Dave, I have bad news. No, I did not make any more money, but last time I did this, I had $4. Remember I made this great picture of raining? Well, I lost one of them. I can only find 3 of my dollars. Thankfully, YouTube's still paying me $4 a day, but I lost $1 somewhere in this pig pen that is my office. So what do you do? And Dave is also doing his best to distract me. His job was to kind of be like Todd, who messes up the quality content. Dave wanted the role of messing up the quality content, so he's doing at it. Speaking of YouTube, also, I'm going to start make a couple Power BI videos on getting started with Power BI and SharePoint content. I am not a BI guru by any means, right? I don't understand slicers and dicers and all those fun things, but at least I've always been very good at the mechanics of BI, right? Understanding kind of where your data comes from, how to get it from point A to point B. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out, just some starter videos. So hey, I got Power BI. Now I'm going to connect to my SharePoint environment. Here's how I pull a SharePoint list in. Here's how I build a KPI or something off of that. So some of those type of things. So once again, if you got any suggestions there, love to hear those about what you'd like to see. Also, speaking of Power BI, the June update is out for the desktop client. So that just came out like an hour ago. I mean, this is cutting edge breaking news, right? This won't get published for 2 weeks. So by the time you hear it, it won't be breaking news. But for the folks in the chat room, this is breaking news. So Microsoft's been pretty good with the Power BI desktop client of putting out monthly updates. And so this month's update, it's got some updates to the reporting mechanisms, including accessibility updates. So keyboard, screen readers, that type of stuff will work with it. More data connectors. So the Amazon Redshift one is now in production, and they put the SAP BW one. I don't even know what that means. I'm just reading the words. And the IBM Netza connectors. Those are both in beta now. So if you're using either of those products, a little more stuff. And there's some other small things they did. So with the Power BI, desktop client, I like it, right? I was kind of challenged by my customer who've been working on this project. He's like, well, why can't I just do this all on the website? I'm like, you can, right? Most of this stuff is available through the website. I like working in a desktop client. I don't know. I guess I'm just old school that way. He wanted to, get his iPad out and, just touch it and rub it and do it all that and make it work. I was like, if I'm going to sit here and build you Power BI stuff for 20 hours, which is about how many hours it took to build off his reports. It's like, I'm doing this in a desktop client where I can save things and do things and be a little more comfortable instead of worrying about Edge crashing every 30 seconds on me. Yeah, and Dave's complaining I'm talking about BI too much. So what do? Well, you know what you do? You make him upset. Yeah, and so Sandy was actually one to remind me about to go check my Power BI stuff. She said in the Data Insights keynote today that they showed some really cool features that were coming. So I did not see the keynote, so I can't tell you those cool features, but I'm sure the recording's online. You can go watch, or you can hit Sandy up, and Sandy will tell you. Though she's a little groggy, she has been watching her, getting up at 2 o'clock in the morning to watch her Penguins play. I think she's hiding on the other side of the world right now, so the Penguins playing, in primetime American time is not working for her over in Europe, so poor girl. A couple more things. We're almost done here. Look at this. The show goes much faster without Todd, too. More bonus points. Other things here. I've been, for a different project, I've been kind of looking into Power Apps and Flow a little more lately. I've always been really comfortable with SharePoint Designer workflows. I worked with Laura Rogers quite a bit to write some crazy ones over the course of the years. And so kind of trying to understand, where does Flow fit in this picture? Where does Power Apps fit in this picture? And I'm still not convinced. I was having some interesting conversations around those. And I guess I'm just going to throw this out to you guys. Are you using Flow? Are you starting to say, you know what, we're going to port our SharePoint Designer workflows into Flow? Or are you just using Flow for new things? Or, when I look at Flow, I really just see like a version of IFTTT that just happens to, include SharePoint, so it can do some SharePoint touchy things. But I just can't imagine writing like full fidelity production workflows in there for SharePoint. So, I don't know. I would love to hear from you guys if you're doing any of that stuff, because I'm not getting it, And then I go and look at Power Apps, and my challenge with Power Apps is it seems like it's the answer to every question you ask Microsoft right now. Oh yeah, that's better because of Power Apps. And that type of stuff always makes me a little nervous when it seems like it's a consistent answer. I also kind of see that Power Apps and Power BI kind of overlap some, Power Apps and Flow overlap some, which makes me nervous that, which one's going to survive or not survive. I have a stack of HD DVDs because I chose wrong last time. So I don't know. Send me tweets, emails, something. I would just love some real world perspective on you guys. Not the marketing spiel, but are you really using any of these products to do things? Love to hear about it. And the last one here at the bottom is Microsoft Mixer. So apparently their E3 content, they were streaming that on Microsoft Mixer. So we were talking about that in the chat room earlier. So I'm actually going to maybe try that out here shortly with Todd. See if we can get the show streaming via Microsoft Mixer's streaming service. It's, once again, like everything else these days, it's meant for streaming video games. But it looks like I did some test runs today that it will do what we want to do. And you're supposed to be able to combine streams, but currently their documentation and onboarding process is terrible, so I don't know how to do that yet. But could be interesting because I was messing around, for the people in the chat room here, there's about a 45-second to a minute and a half delay from when I say something till they see it in the chat room, till they can type about it. But I was playing with a mixer this morning running a test, and it was like 1 second delay because the way they push stuff, they have some new beta technology, FTS or something like that. And so they were actually, I mean, I was recording, and I mean, it felt like I was almost watching myself live on the stream. So it'd be interesting to see if maybe that cuts down on some of our latency issues we've had and things like that. So that is what I know about things for today. I can also tell you, oh, there it is. I was going to say, Lori hasn't marked Microsoft Mixer as a timestamp yet. I was getting a little nervous. Shameless promotions for Todd. I don't really know what it is. See, I'll pull his schedule up, so I feel like I'm a nice person. So reminder, you know, here in another week, Todd will be at Office 365 Engage. You know, he'd already told us we were going to be gone for that one. Where he's at this week, I actually don't know. He messaged me late last night. It's kind of cryptic. It might have been like a SOS, come save me thing, but I just deleted the text instead. If he needs help, someone else will help, I'm sure. But yeah, so he'll be in Engage June 19th through 22nd. He'll be at the SharePoint St. Louis user group in July, SharePoint Exchange Forum in September, and Microsoft Ignite in September as well. Got my fingers crossed like that I might be at Ignite. I think SP TechCon is actually out there on the horizon somewhere too. We should probably firm up our plans for that as well, but that's for another day. Shameless promotions for me would just be go to boldzebras.com. Shane needs some consulting customers. Give me something to do other than going to kid events. So, I don't know. I think that's it. Look at that. A nice 20-minute show. Just remember how much better you like the show when it's only me than Todd. So, anyway, I guess I'll see you guys next week. So, thanks and have a great day.